Hey everyone, welcome to the first official video of the MagicaVoxel's playlist for my video game production class. Okay, so make sure that you expand your window here so you get a nice big interface. And this video is just going to be sort of a crash course of the basics. We're not going to get into any of the tools too much, but just so you have an idea. Okay, so first things first, you see you start off with this big old blue cube. So let's get around to navigation. So if you hold down your right mouse button and drag your mouse up, down, left, and right, you will orbit your view. And so you'll kind of rotate your view and you can see all the different parts of whatever it is you're making. If you use the scroll wheel, you can zoom in and you can zoom out. Okay, and then if you hold down the scroll wheel, you actually push down the button, you can actually pan your view up, down, left, and right. So there we are. Okay, so starting over here on the left-hand side, you're going to see we have a palette here. We have a color palettes. And so the very first color palette is 0, and that's these super bright colors. Palette number 1 is the same bright colors, but they're not quite as bright. They're a little more natural and a little more muted. This is personally my favorite one that I use most often. Color palette number 2 is going to be just a grayscale, black all the way to white. And then color palette 3 is actually where you get to make your own. And this is where you can go ahead and you can choose a color, and then you can come down here at the bottom and you can actually then pick or choose whatever color you want. And you can set it to go right up there. And you can see I just picked this color here, and I can then pick another color and I can make this one be red, and you can make your own custom one. But for most of the time, I just stick with color palette number 1. Okay, this next little panel over here are your brushes, and this is where you're probably going to be spending most of your time. You'll notice these 3 buttons here, attach, erase, and paint. Those are the 3 modes. So right now I'm in erase mode, and if I come over here and I left mouse click, I can drag and I can go ahead and I can erase. And you'll see if I keep erasing, you're going to get, it's just going to keep digging in there. And if I erase up here at the top, it'll eventually cut it out. And if I erase down here at the bottom, I can pull out these these rectangles or sort of these squares. And so you can sort of do that. And you can basically just keep going all the way through, although it's not very efficient. The next thing you can do is, besides erase mode, you have attach mode. And attach mode is where you're going to basically create. So if I click on this, this blue color over here, if I now go ahead and create, I'm now attaching on. And so now I'm building it back up. Okay? So erases, attach, creates. If I choose paint mode, you then come over here and choose whatever color you want. I'll choose this yellow. And now I'm basically painting in this rectangular or square shape. And you can see it's kind of going over many different faces like that. And I can just do a single voxel, or I can do an entire patch. Okay? So there we go. So these are the 3 modes. Above the 3 modes, this is the next area where you'll spend a lot of time. Think of these as the brushes. This is basically how you create. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all of this cube over here. So over here on the right, you'll see where it says Tool, and you'll see a button that says Clear. And if I click on Clear, I now have an empty canvas. This is my world, and I now have a fresh blank world. Now above the Clear button, it says Full. If I click Full, you'll see it's just going to basically fill it up. I'm going to go back to Clear. Okay, so now that I've got it on Clear, if I go here to Attach, here's the first brush that I want you to use. This is basically just the box brush, and it's this one here that looks like a cube. And if I put my mouse pointer down here, I can click and I can just make a single voxel. Okay? If I click and drag, I can go ahead and make a rectangular shape, or I can make a square. I can do it right here on the walls, and I can go ahead and do an entire panel like that. And there you go. Okay? And I can choose the ceiling as well. Any of the sides I can create on. So that's that brush. The next brush is called the face brush. And what this one will allow you to do is it'll allow you to take any existing face, okay, these are all faces, and allow you to do a single click, or you can click and drag and you can basically increase it, and it'll go in that direction, okay? Sorry, there's the school bell. There we are. And there you are. Now, it's adding because I'm in the attach mode. If I go to erase mode, it's going to now erase an entire face or bring it back downward or make it go away. Okay, it just depends on what mode you're in. Now, if I'm in paint mode on the face, let me change colors here. You'll see that it basically is just going to go ahead and paint one entire face. Okay. All right, I'm going to go back to attach mode. And now I'm going to click on this third brush. And this is just a voxel draw. So if I do a single click, you see that I get a single voxel. If I click and drag, I'm going to go ahead and be able to draw. Now, there's one thing you got to watch out for. If you click and drag on a wall and you drag like that, that almost looks like a diagonal line, almost. But then if you rotate your view, you'll see that what actually happened is that it drew along the wall and then it went along the floor. Now there is a way to disable that, so it actually makes a true diagonal line, and I'll show that later on. Okay, and the last brush that we're gonna focus on today is this. This is the line tool. And this will allow you to, let me change colors. This will allow you to click and drag, and you can do a straight line, but you can also click and hold it and you can drag it out and you can make a diagonal line. So I can do a perfectly straight line, and there we go. And then I can go out this way. And so this can be really, really, really helpful. And of course, if you switch it to erase mode, it will erase in a line. So that can be really handy when you want to carve out some really like mechanical or technical lines. And then if you choose paint, of course, it's going to just paint in a straight line. So again, that can be really helpful for graphics and level design. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and have that be just the basics. Again, we went over the 3 modes: attach, erase, and paint, and we went over the first 4 brushes here. Okay, so the last couple things that I'm going to show you in this basic video is over here on the right-hand side. We've got some tools. We've got some selection options over here, and then we've got a whole bunch of different things that you might want to do once you have a selection. So for instance, here it says rot. That just is short for rotation, flip, loop, scale, shear, things like that. So we'll get into those a little bit more later on. They're a little bit more advanced. What I want to show you before I finish up this video is over here, there's a little project panel, and then I want to show you how to save and how to start up brand new from scratch if you need to. So over here, you're going to see some pre-made projects that the MagicaVoxel creators have made. So if I come over here and I click on this one here that says 3x3x3, it's going to basically say, do you want to save what you have in front of you? I'm going to say no. And now it loads up a 3x3x3. And if you look up here on the top right, you'll see this box here that says 3x3x3. So that's 3 on the x-axis, 3 on the y-axis, and 3 on the z-axis. And that's why this looks a little bit bigger, because it's a smaller world. Okay. Here's another one, 8x8x8, a little bit larger. Here's a castle. So now we're getting to actually see some real content that you can make. So that's very cool. Got a cool little knight character here. Another little warrior character with a sword and shield. We got some Doom characters here. Very cool, nicely painted. They are 2D. Just another really complex one. The cool thing about this is actually from a video game called Monument Valley, and this is actually an entire level. So that's really cool. You can design an entire level using this program. And you can see it's a 3D level where you've got stairs and stuff to climb. So a lot of really cool stuff here. Some interesting shapes. Very cool interior room. And a little teapot here. Okay, so let me show you now how to create a brand new voxel and how to save it. So if you want to create a brand new one, if you look up here in the very top right-hand corner, this is where you have all your open, save, new projects, all that kind of good stuff. So the one you want is this first one here that looks like a little piece of blank white paper. If you click on it, it's then going to give you basically whatever color you have selected, it's going to give you that in full. So if I go over here and I select my first palette, there it is right there. I can now go clear and I can go to attach and I can choose my color and I can just start creating. If I want to save, you come up here and you'll see now the save icon is turned red. It's a little floppy diskette. You just click on it and it's going to try to save it to a folder called Vox. I highly recommend that you change this to the desktop so that way you can see your project. Now up here it's going to be called Untitled.Vox. Keep the .vox. You want to keep that, otherwise the computer won't know what kind of a file it is. And then you can go ahead and you can name this. Okay, and then just hit save. And that's pretty much it. If I were to open this up, and now to open a project, I would come over here up at the top and I would click on this little open folder and it's going to ask me where do I want to go. I'm going to find, here it is right here, and there it is right there, my two little voxel french fries. Okay, that's going to be it for this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video where we'll actually start getting into some more advanced tools and creating. See you next time.